Hi, my name is Katie Floyd. I'm in the Thursday Internet Assisted Child Growth class, and today I'm going to be talking about my observations that I have done this semester. Each classroom that I walked into was very different, unique, and interesting, and here's why. The schools that I visited were Oak Brook Elementary in Sherwood, Southwest Middle School in Searcy, Sylvan Hills Elementary in Sherwood, and Sunshine School in Searcy. In kindergarten, I was at Sylvan Hills Elementary in Miss Petrie's class. Sylvan Hills Elementary was a very welcoming school. The staff there were very kind and helpful. When I arrived, I noticed that there were two playgrounds, one for the kindergarten through second graders and one for the third through fifth graders. I thought this was a good idea to separate the two so that the older kids wouldn't run over the smaller kids. My glow is that I loved how Miss Petrie used songs to help the kids learn the days of the week and the months of the year, etc. It makes learning more interesting and more fun. My grow is that I didn't have one. In first grade at Sylvan Hills Elementary was in Miss Anderson's class. When I walked into Miss Anderson's class, she was very welcoming and warming. She led me to a table where I would be sitting during my hour of observation. The first thing I noticed was that the students were at individual learning stations. There was a reading station, a computer station, a math station, and board games. My grow is that I wish she had done an actual lesson to the class as a whole. And my glow is that she called a few students at a time to her desk to help them with their reading skills. She would hand them a book and grade them how poorly or well that they read the words on the pages. In second grade at Sylvan Hills Elementary, Miss Blackwell's class, the morning I walked into second grade, Miss Blackwell's class, I knew right away I was walking into chaos. The classroom was very unorganized and there were a lot of supplies on the desks and the floors, and there were Legos on the floors as well. Some students were running and chasing each other all around the classroom. Meanwhile, Miss Blackwell was working one-on-one with the student trying to meet their AR goal for the 9 weeks. There was no lesson or anything educational about this so-called chaos. In the midst of all chaos, one little girl in particular came up to me and showed me her art project that she had made out of popsicle sticks. She proceeded to tell me about it and what kind of animal that she had made. It was very daring, touching, and very sweet of her. I appreciated it. I also noticed that over on the side of the classroom there were a group of students of about 4 or 5. They had a little stage set up and they made puppets. They were playing pretend. This is a great example of cooperative play. My glow for this class was that one student in particular came up to me and showed me her project, and it was very cute. My grow is that there should have been some kind of structure or lesson going on during this time. I was very disappointed. In third grade at Oak Brook Elementary in Miss McClung's class. Walking into Oak Brook Elementary, I saw a playground equipment and a basketball court. When I walked into the office, the ladies in there were very nice and answered all of my questions. Luckily, when I said I was going to observe in Miss McClung's class, she happened to be standing right there. After I'd introduced myself, she led me to her room. One of the first things that I noticed was that the seating arrangement was boy, girl, boy, girl. During the time that I was there, she taught math for that hour. My glow was that she had very good class management skills. She was on top of the students' behaviors. My grow is that I didn't have one. Also, at Oak Brook Elementary School in Miss Billings' class was 4th grade. When I walked into the 4th grade classroom, I noticed that the students were all very quiet and concentrated. This class was literature. When at the beginning of the day, they have journal time where they write in their journals. Afterwards, she put a paragraph that she had purposefully had grammatical mistakes in it. She then would call on the students one by one so that they could tell her the mistakes in the paragraph. Miss Billings had a very good interaction with the class as a whole. After the hour was over, she told the students to line up at the door. When I asked her where they were going, she told me that the school district had recently started a new system where the 4th and 5th graders switch classrooms after each hour to help prepare them for their next school career in middle school. My glow is that I wish I had had that same kind of system when I was in elementary school. It helps prepare the students for middle school and changing their classes. My grow is that there was no kind of clip system. She verbally kept getting onto the students multiple times. In 5th grade at Sylvan Hills Elementary in Miss Sherman's class. When I walked into 5th grade, the 5th grade classroom, it was a complete 180 degrees from the 2nd grade classroom that I had previously been in. This class was structured and organized very neatly. The students were all at their desks and the teacher was giving a lesson. The lesson was about volume and math. The students had building blocks in front of them, and she would give them a dimension and the students would have to make it with the blocks. For example, she would say, make a 4 by 4 by 2 block, and the students would build that out of their blocks. I really enjoyed observing Miss Sherman's class. My glow is that using the blocks as a hands-on learning experience is very good for the students to learn. I did not have a grow for this one. In 6th grade was at Southwest Middle School in Miss Jamie Benningfield's class. I walked into Southwest Middle School and I was immediately greeted with kindness. When I got to the classroom, I noticed right away that the class was not as big as the others that I had previously observed at. I thought it was kind of odd at first until I later learned that it was a 6th grade remedial math class. One of the things I liked about her teaching style was that when a student got an answer correctly, she would give them a piece of candy. My glow is that she had an intercom system that would project her voice over the classroom so that she wouldn't have to yell. And I did not have a grow for this one. And last but not least, special ed at Sunshine School in Miss Bridget Smith's class. This observation was by far my favorite. I'm glad I saved it for last. I got to observe an adult development class. They were all adult aged, but on elementary learning levels. Every one of those students touched my heart in a very special way. Mrs. Smith called a few students to her table one at a time. She pulled out their pouches that had flashcards and coins in it. She would pull out the flashcards first that had 2 to 3 letter words on them, and they would read back to her what those words were, and she would grade them on that. She also pulled out the coins, and they would have to tell her the value of the coin and what kind of coin it was. She also pulled out a map of the United States, and they would have to point to Arkansas, which state was Arkansas, and I thought that was very neat. When they got the answer right, seeing their faces light up and smile was the greatest feeling in the world. The looks on their faces were so happy, and it made me happy on the inside. The oldest student in that classroom was 68 years old. Now, the adults in that classroom are not required to come to school because of their age. One thing that kind of shocked me, however, about this special education class was that one student in particular blurted out an inappropriate comment, and Mrs. Smith just acted like it was a normal thing. I knew that if she had provoked it, the student would have made more inappropriate comments. My glow is that I absolutely loved that she had inspirational and Bible verses posted all over the room. And there was not a single thing about this class that I would have done better, so there was no grow for it. And my overall experience of observing this was very educational, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And it gives me so much excitement, and I look forward to having my own classroom one day. Thank you.